that we laughed very much together. It was never dull with him, and we were very happy, even in the most horrible times. It was not because of me, but because of him. In the days we often quarreled. Both had insupportable characters, but in the night we made love. It was a great success. It is comical to speak about sexual success at 73, but it is. But it was the reason why we lived together. We couldn't live without each other. I tried to be unloyal to him, but I didn't succeed in doing it, because everybody was worse than he. Поняли? Неприлично. Сумасшедшая старуха. Что вы?
How did you meet Mandelshtam?
At a cafe, at a nightclub. And the first day we went together to bed. The very first day, it was also the 1st of May.
Was that custom in that time to make love so quickly?
We did it. We were the beginning of the sexual revolution. We had nothing to lose. I didn't want to marry anybody. I didn't want to marry Mandelshtam. I tried to be independent.
But you were married to him. In the essence.
It happened so. It simply happened so.
What was it like to be married to him?
I can't say. The nights were good. The days were difficult. He didn't let me go anywhere. He wanted me to be always present and with him. He didn't want me to make any friends.
Was he egoistic, so?
It wasn't egoism, it was something else. Let me go anywhere. He wanted me to be always present and with him. He didn't want me to make any friends.
Was he egoistic, so?
It wasn't egoism, it was something else. He was very strong-willed. And I was light-headed. So it was a bit difficult.
How did Mandelshtam at first appreciate the revolution in the beginning?
He has written about it. He had written about it.
In what book?
In poems and so on. He thought that it would be a democratic state. Afterwards, he understood that it was quite the other way.
But he hopes that it could be.
In the beginning, he did. In the 30s, he understood that it couldn't be. I think he was rather revolutionary. But he was not satisfied with the revolution. He didn't understand that it was becoming a slavery for everybody. I understood it first.
Why was it at first that Mandelshtam was not allowed to publish?
It was very early. In 1923, it was the beginning of his violence.
And why was that first?
Why? Because he was другого теста. Из другого теста. From a different mode. He was not a Soviet writer, and he didn't want to lie. So he simply couldn't lie. He wanted to lie, but he didn't want to. Да? Да, Юраша. Здравствуйте, милый. The main feeling was a great pity for him because he was surrounded by enemies, and the main enemies were the writers and the poets, the so-called poets. They always said, why can't he do as we are doing? But he couldn't. He was another kind of man.
I wonder whether you still, after Mandelshtam's poetry for a part has been published in the West, do you still know all of his poetry by heart?
No. The prayers had come into the memory, and I begin to forget the poetry, and I don't know what to do with it.
Is there among all of his poetry one or a few that you love best and would say?
I can say the стихи о неизвестном солдате и осы. Как осы? Not the bees. И bees пчелы. Это осы. Дикая. Вооруженный зрением узких ос, сосущих ось земную. Я помню все, с чем свидеться пришлось, и вспоминаю наизусть и всуе.
Do you believe in, and did Mandelshtam believe in the power of the written word?
The power of written word? Yes. I think nobody believes in it after Dostoevsky, because if they haven't heard Dostoevsky, whom would they listen to? Ours is a sleeping country. Everybody is sleeping, you know. Если он это пустит сейчас, это будет ужасно.
You write a lot about Christianity in both of your books, but what did it mean for you or for Mandelshtam to be a Jew?
It didn't mean anything, simply that we were Jews, nothing else, and that we were Russian Jews.
But in the fourth prose, Mandelshtam has written that it was impossible to be a Jew and write socially accepted literature at the same time.
Maybe. I know it by heart. Цыганское племя. Вороватые цыганщины писательского племени. He felt that he was a Jew. And I nearly didn't feel it. I am Christian from the birth.
What is your dearest memory of Mandelshtam?
Everything is the dearest memory. He himself is the dearest memory. We didn't part because I believe in our meeting in the other world. I'm Christian and I believe in it. He did. He even wrote it to me. Любви было никогда.